Hello, everyone. My name is Olivia. I'm 47 years old, and this is one of the most unbelievable stories I've ever experienced. Even now, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, but I can't stop replaying the events in my mind.
During high school, which was predominantly white, a girl in my class asked me, "So, do black people, have black blood?" I was too drained to even reply to such a ridiculous question. My friend and I stopped by a gas station during a drive, and she bought some snacks. She placed a $5 bill on the counter, and the cashier stared at it like she'd never seen one before. Without moving, she asked, "Is that a 5? To this day, I have no idea why she was so baffled by a simple $5 bill at her own register. I live with 2 roommates, and we split the cost of household supplies like paper towels, garbage bags, and toilet paper. I went to Target, bought these items, and divided the total by 3, letting them know how much they owed. One of them asked, "Does this mean I get money back?" Because she had just sent me her share of the rent for January. This is just one example of her many absurd questions. "Can you stay late today? Will I be paid extra?" "You're on a salary." "My salary covers 40 hours a week." "Do it for the company." "And what does the company do for me?" "It provides you with a job." "I work for money." "This is business. The company keeps me on because I'm beneficial for them." Kids never work for free. What did people in apartments do before stairs were invented? Is Kingdom Come a place in China? Yes, the same person said both things. What are eggs made of? Not asking about their chemical composition, but whether they contain flour because of the whites or butter because of the yolk. This 23-year-old was not the sharpest tool in the shed. What's the difference? This was asked after I offered the choice between sea salt and oregano. Thinking he was joking, I said, "Well, one's sea salt and the other is oregano." He became furious and snapped, "I already knew that." Fortunately, his friends weren't jerks and they shut him down, explaining it wasn't a hard question and he was just being rude while I was doing my job. A client called at 8 a.m., furious, and said, "Your company is terrible at making calendar apps. I tried booking something for February 30th, but it only goes up to the 29th. How am I supposed to schedule for the 30th? I'm a woman with a twin brother, and I've lost count of how many people have asked if we're identical twins. Is it okay to swim in a pool with a dead dog? This was a phone call I received while working at a pool store. The answer is no. Absolutely not. Classmate. What's your race? Me. I'm Polish and Chinese. Classmate. Oh, so you're mixed. Are you sure you're not Korean? Me. Yes, I'm sure. Classmate. No way. You're definitely Korean. I have Korean friends. Me. I'm Chinese. Classmate. Can you speak Korean? Me. Goodbye. Wow, your English is amazing. Do you also speak Canadian? I couldn't live in England. I don't even know what language they speak there. Me. English. England. English. Them. Are you sure? While working at a living history museum, we always kept a smoky fire burning for ambiance. A woman once asked me, "Is that fire real?" After years of dealing with the public, it took everything in me not to say, Why don't you touch it and find out? I was the IT admin at a small company. When the power went out one day, the secretary called me and asked if the phones were still working. She wasn't testing them. She was asking this question over the phone. Her. What's the longest 5K you've ever run? Me. 5K. Her. I thought some were longer. Me. Yeah, there are 8Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and so on. Her. So the longest 5K you've run was a half marathon? Me. What is happening right now? Where do they list the calories on shampoo? I can't find it anywhere. Every single day at work. Me. Hello, this is Dave speaking. Caller. Hi, can I speak to Dave? My mom once asked me if Florida was located in California. We're Canadian, and she's visited both places before. I was the one asking a silly question once. When I was around 12, I went to a taco truck at the county fair. The choices were a shrimp taco or a chicken taco. I intended to ask, is there a price difference? Because fairs always overcharge. Instead, I just said, what's the difference? The lady replied, well, one's shrimp and the other's chicken. I felt so dumb. A customer purchasing a bottle of water at a coffee shop asked, is this actual water? I'm considerably taller than the average person in my area. A coworker once said, don't you think it's inconsiderate to be so tall? To this day, I have no idea what they meant. A former colleague once asked me if French and Italian were the same language. At least he was making an effort to learn. Can you take off your glasses? Yes, I can. Removes glasses. I had no idea you could take them off. I live in the Netherlands and my mother is from Hong Kong. During a Dutch presentation about the ongoing protests, my teacher asked several questions not covered in my talk. I could answer all of them and even corrected her a few times. Later, my classmates asked why I knew so much. I explained that my mother was from Hong Kong. They then asked, why is your mom from Hong Kong? Confused, I asked what they meant, but they just repeated the same question. While living in my spouse's deceased grandparents' house, I got a phone call. Caller. May I speak with Mr. Deceased? Me. No, sorry. He's passed away. Caller. Then may I speak with Mrs. Deceased? Me. She died recently too. Caller. Well, when do you expect them to return? Me. Hopefully not anytime soon. While trying to move one of those big multifunctional weight machines, someone noticed it was set to the heaviest weight. They suggested, why don't we switch it to the lightest setting so it'll be easier to move? About 10 seconds later, they realized why that idea didn't make sense. We have twins. Countless people have asked if we specifically plan to have twins. When I was 16, I worked in retail as a cashier. A woman handed me a coupon for 20% off her total purchase. After I told her the final price, she seemed unhappy and asked, did it take 20% off each item or the whole total? I had to explain that it was exactly the same thing. When someone asked me where I was from, I replied, Venezuela. Their response was, which part of Africa is that in? I was chatting with someone and mentioned that I had visited Japan last year. They responded, "Oh, is that where Japanese people are from?" It took me a few seconds to process before I awkwardly replied, "Yeah." During a job interview. Employer: "Why are you interested in this position?" Me, trying to sound profound, "Because I'm hungry." While eating dinner at the university dining hall, a friend asked, "How big is a star? Could one fit inside this room?" I quietly explained that it definitely couldn't fit in the room. As I was helping my 94-year-old grandfather set up his walker by the car, with my 81-year-old grandmother standing nearby using 2 crutches, someone asked, "Why are you parked in the disabled spot?" I replied, "For the great view, obviously." While cleaning up after hours at the bar where I worked, which had both an upstairs and downstairs, one of the new staff asked me whether they should sweep the dirt up or down the stairs. I told them to sweep it up the stairs and left them to figure it out. I was born on an Air Force base. In 6th grade, during a get-to-know-you activity, I listed the base I was born on as my birthplace. When I shared this with the class, a classmate seriously asked, "So, were you born on the runway or something?" For the record, the base had a hospital, and my dad was in active duty at the time. Person A: "Where can I find a security guard?" Me: "The security team is stationed over at the pavilion, and they're available 24/7. Person A: "What if I need them at night?" This is not a joke. On the first day of 9th grade, our homeroom teacher introduced herself. "Hi, I'm Ms. I don't remember her name, and I'll be your homeroom teacher this year." She then asked everyone to introduce themselves. After the first student shared their name, she genuinely asked, "Nice to meet you. What grade are you in?"